In this video, I'm going to talk about the syllabus, just like I would if we were in a face-to-face class. On the first night, we're going to go through everything, and then you are welcome to ask me questions through the question forum or through email or whatever way works best for you. I was counting the other day, and this is the 17th time I've taught this course. But what makes it a little bit different is that it's the very first time that the course has been completely online. So I think that's one of the reasons why I struggled getting the syllabus to you, because I kept going back and forth in my mind about the best approach for each of the topics I wanted to share with you. So that being said, I hope that you'll give me feedback, especially at the end of the summer, but even throughout the summer. Let me know if you didn't feel supported, or there needs to be more explanation, or if the particular activity doesn't lend itself to online. I would love to hear that feedback, because if we continue to have this course online, I need to make sure that it's just as good as it is face-to-face. So I'm going to go through the syllabus. I'm not going to read it to you because you can read it. So I'm going to skip over some of the sections that are pretty much just on every syllabus, and you can read on your own. But I want to highlight a few important points, especially with the course schedule. So looking at the first page of the syllabus, you see my contact information. My office phone number is there, but I did write next to it, please use email, because I am sporadically in my office during the summer. I do teach another course that meets face-to-face, but they only meet face-to-face half of the time. So I'm not consistently there, meaning it could be a whole week before I even hear a message that you leave on my phone. So the best way to reach me is through email. And then if you would like to speak on the phone, through email we can set up a time, and I'll call you or you can call me, and that way you're not leaving a message and waiting and waiting and waiting and I haven't even heard it yet. But my office is on here. If for some reason we decide to set up an appointment where we meet each other, which is possible, and so you're welcome to come by there if we decide to do that, or in the future, in the fall, semester, spring, if you ever needed to see me about something, that's where I am. So I'm going to move forward through the syllabus. I'm going to let you read the course description, and the goals. Those are just things that we hope to get out of the course. The conceptual framework is on all of the syllabi in the education department. You'll see that we don't have a book for this course. I dropped it a while ago because it didn't really fit with newer technologies that I was introducing. You will have some readings, not as many as your other classes, and all of those will be on EDU 2.0. So you can print them and read them, or you can just read them on your computer. That's up to you. So at this time, there are no extra expenses required for this course. You just need to make sure you have a way to do your work on the computer and save it. And you need to let me know if you're having issues with that. I would like you, under required technology, it says I would like you to use Microsoft Office if you can, Word, and then eventually we might be using PowerPoint. There are ways around that, though. If you don't have Word, you can use Google Docs. That's also acceptable. And there are other ways for the PowerPoint assignment. There are other approaches for that as well. I just want to make sure that you don't use something that I can't open on my computer or read. So if you stick to Word or Google Docs, or if there's an issue with your file format, you can always change it to a PDF. That way I can open it and read what you've written. It just slows both of us down if you give me something that I can't open. You'll notice that it's underlined and bolded that you need to check your email account as well as EDU 2.0 every single day, just to make sure there aren't any announcements. Email would be fine. When I do a little announcement on EDU 2.0, I always check so it sends it to your email. But just something so that if I send you an announcement, you're able to read it in a timely fashion. I promise not to surprise you or to spring anything on you last minute, but it's still important that you check your email and keep up to date since we don't see each other face to face. Again, because we don't see each other, I'm going to send you more emails than I probably would if it were a class where we were meeting. The honor code is listed, accommodations. You can read through those. If you have any questions, you may, of course, ask me. And then some policies. I think I deleted all the policies that were applicable to a face-to-face course. Just make sure you turn in your assignments on time. I do accept late assignments, but I also take points off for late assignments. I'd rather you turn it in late and get a few points off than to receive a 0. But there will be a point where if your assignment is so late that it would be so many points off. There will be a date where I say, okay, I'm not accepting it anymore, and I'll let you know. I always will communicate that with you. Your assignment should be in APA. Now, I know that you probably don't have much experience with APA, so I'm going to try to teach it a little bit as we go. There are some APA tutorial videos in resources in a folder called tutorial videos. They were all made by me, and they were made for previous courses when I was supposed to teach APA. APA is similar to MLA or Chicago, or just different kinds of ways to format and papers and cite references. For this class, pretty much the only reason you are using APA is just to be able to format the paper. You will have one instance where you have to cite an article a little bit later in the summer, and I'll support you through that. I'll show you how to set up that citation. So for APA, for your normal assignments, that just means using Times New Roman, 12-point font, double-spaced. I know it doesn't say Times New Roman there. I meant to put that. Unless you're typing right into EDU 2.0, then you'll just use their default font. But if you're typing in Word, it is good to get in the habit of using Times New Roman, 12-point, black, no fun rainbow colors, double space, because that's what all of your classes will expect as you go through the program. Number 5 says the course schedule can be changed at the discretion of the instructor. I would never change it without informing you. Really, I would only change it to meet the needs of the course, because maybe we got behind with something, or you just needed more time. But I'm not going to change it just to surprise you and stress you. I would never do that. So just know that although it is tentative, there has to be a real reason for me to change it, and I would communicate that with you. The grading scale is next. We have 2 grading scales because our course is what we call cross-listed, meaning that it's at the 100 level and the 500 level. So our 500 level students are MAT students, and our 100 level students are undergraduate students. But all of us, 100 and 500, are learning to be teachers. So we're all at the same level of understanding as far as learning to be a teacher. But we do have a different grading scale for graduate and undergraduate. So if you're in the 500 level of the class, the only difference between the 2 grading scales is that there's no D at the graduate level. So anything under a C- should be considered an F. At the undergraduate level, there is such a thing as a D. So that's really the only difference. Otherwise, the numbers are the same. One thing to pay attention to for that, though, is that in EDU 2.0, I'm the administrator of it, and I set up the grading scale for every class. And the grading scale, there's only one way I can set it up. I can't set it up in two ways. Therefore, I went with the undergraduate grading scale. So if you're an MAT student and you are earning a D in a class, you just need to remember that it really is an F. So even though it might say D in AD 2.0, your final grade submitted by the college is an F. But I imagine that that's not going to be an issue. It usually isn't an issue. But I want you to be aware, because you might be thinking, oh, a D, I'm still passing. But if you're at the 500 level, a D is not passing. Moving on to the assignments, there are 3 major sections of assignments for this course. This is a little bit different during the summer because we don't have the as easy of access to schools to visit. So I'm trying something new. So you'll have to let me know what you think about it so that I know if I should keep doing it. But instead of visiting schools where we're not really sure if they're testing or if they're even, doing anything at the end of the semester, it might be just watching a movie. I know I've done that before. I've decided to find videos for you to watch of teachers using technology in their classrooms. Some of them will kind of be a montage of ideas, like the first one that you're going to watch, and then others will be an actual teacher teaching a course and using technology and being interviewed about it, and you get to watch that and kind of observe but be online doing it. So I skipped to number 2, so we'll keep talking about number 2. So that's your field experience. In every class at Salem, you'll have some sort of field experience where you're either visiting a classroom on your own, or you're visiting with your classmates and your professor, or you're doing what we're doing this time and you're observing teachers through videos. And then you'll eventually move on to teaching lessons, or having small groups of students you work with. And then finally, you'll move on at the very end to teaching all day, every day during student teaching. So it's kind of a progression. We're the very first course, technically, whether you took it first or not. So we do the least amount of field experience. So we'll try the videos, and then you let me know how it goes. I'll explain more about the video assignment through an email, but you'll have a video to watch almost every week. They'll be very short. You'll reflect on them, and then that'll be your grade for that part of the course. Moving back up to number 1, the technology projects and reflections will be the majority of the course. That will be our explorations of different technologies throughout the summer. So the first one that we're going to do is a virtual field trip using Google Tour Builder. And I will explain more about that through an email, but you see that that's one of the assignments that goes to that bigger 60% of your grade. And then we'll have other assignments with QR codes, social media. You'll be writing an ebook, and then some of the assignments you don't really make anything, but you'll try it and then you'll reflect on it, and that's where it says reflections on tools we try. I'll provide you detailed information about each of those assignments as we reach them throughout the summer. So that's not something that you'll work ahead on. However, number 2, the field experience, you are allowed to work ahead on those if you want to. I only have one posted right now, but I plan to have the rest of them posted soon. So if you're going out of town and you want to try to get some stuff done ahead of time, you're welcome to do that. Once they're posted, you can start watching the videos and reflecting on them. The last one is a cumulative assignment that you're going to work on throughout the semester, and I will email you with more details. But this one is a chance for you to collect tools that you might use in your classroom and kind of create your own little toolbox in a Word document or Google Doc of technology links to websites or to apps that you could use on the phone or an iPad that you might use in your classroom. So these can be tools that you would use to plan, to teach, to assess, to support students. It could be tools the students might use to learn, to review, to peer assess, or to self-assess, or to communicate ideas, or to participate, or so many different ways you could use them. It could also be a tool that a parent might use. So maybe you have it on your classroom website for parents to help their children with homework, or to communicate with you, or so it can be anything really that might benefit you in the classroom. So they should be specific to what you're going to teach. Now, some of the tools might work for any grade, but then there'll be some tools that are really specific to what you're going to teach. You're going to collect 20 of those, and then by the end of the summer, you'll share some of those with us, and then have that document to show everything that you have collected. You may use some of the tools that I share with you, or that we as a class share through the summer, but the majority of the tools should be tools that you have found. I'm going to post some examples from this past semester, because this is a new assignment, so I have a few examples from the spring that were done very well, and that way you can get an idea of how to set this up. In the meantime, if you want something to do, you could just start with Google, and you might in Google write technology tools for teaching American history in high school, or technology tool, the best technology tools for K2. You would write something in Google and just start to see what pops up, and start exploring them, and maybe just bookmarking them and taking some notes. And then once I have the examples posted, you can start actually writing up each of them so that you can be working on it throughout the summer. I did leave a little bit of time at the very end of the summer for you to work on it, but I think it would help for you to at least be gathering the resources as you go. So those three larger assignments make up the 100% of your grade. So that's how they're broken up, and they are broken up like that in EDU 2.0. So they'll be calculated that way as I enter them. So the last thing in the syllabus is the tentative schedule. So you probably already can see that the week goes across in the row, and then the columns are broken up into the topic and then what's due. I tried to make most of your assignments due on Sundays. So we'll kind of start the week on a Monday and then finish up on Sunday. And then that way, if you're still working, or you're working during the summer, hopefully that the weekend will give you a little bit extra time to finish up anything you need to do. So this week and next week, we're going to be looking at virtual field trips, and I know I owe you an email about what to do and how we're going to learn about it, and that will be coming. Your first video reflection is due this Sunday. It's a very short little montage video, and it shows a little bit about what teachers are doing with Google Tour, or not with Google Tour, with Google Hangouts and other methods for virtual field trips. And then next week you'll have a Google Tour due, and I am going to lead you through building your Google Tour, and we'll talk about that as we progress through the week. So that's how to read it. So you have your class topic, and then you have due dates on the right that correspond with that week. So you'll see, then we'll look at QR codes, we'll look at augmented reality and some participation tools, we'll look at social media in the classroom, then we'll have a little 2 weeks devoted to looking at the benefit of ebooks, and then you're going to write your own ebook. And then the very last part of the summer is for your annotated resources. So the summer is always shorter than a full semester. So I left out a few things like smartboard because that's a little bit difficult to show you without having you in front of one. Um, but I might be able to supplement with a few things for you that are just optional for you to look at throughout the summer, based on your interest. So that is it for the syllabus. Please let me know if you have any questions. I'm happy to answer them, especially since I'm not right in front of you to answer and explain. Um, I'll refer back to the syllabus as we go through the semester, and then you'll receive detailed information each week about everything that we do.